Imagine working your whole life only to retire on a pension so low you can't even cover the basics. That's the reality millions of UK pensioners are living right now, and it's sparked a massive new demand for the DWP to raise the state pension to £722 a week. It sounds impossible, but the reason behind this figure might shock you, and what happens next could change retirement in Britain forever. Welcome to UK Insight, now your trusted guide for pensions, benefits, and senior living in the UK. Stay informed, stay supported, and enjoy your golden years with confidence. Subscribe now and join the community. Let's dive in. Across the country, more and more pensioners are asking the same question: how are we expected to live on the state pension? With rising rents, soaring energy bills, expensive food shops, and general inflation eating through savings, the old idea that retirement is a time to relax is fading fast. For many, it's become a daily struggle. The full state pension currently gives retirees far less than what most European nations pay their elderly. And when you compare it to the real cost of living in the UK, the gap becomes painfully obvious. That's why the figure being demanded, £722 a week, is not random. It's designed to match what campaigners call a genuine living pension. Not a luxury, not a bonus. Just the amount needed to cover essential living costs with dignity. Imagine this: being retired after a lifetime of working, only to find yourself choosing between keeping your home warm or buying a proper meal, or having to rely on relatives, credit cards, or even food banks in your 70s and 80s. These are real stories being shared by real people across Britain. And that's where this movement began, with people who simply can't afford to live on what the state pension currently provides. The demand for £722 a week isn't just emotional. There are hard financial facts behind it. The cost of everything from mortgages to medication has surged. Even the triple lock, which is supposed to protect pensions, hasn't kept pace with real inflation over the years. Many pensioners feel left behind as wages rise, benefits change, and living costs skyrocket. Meanwhile, their fixed income barely moves. The message that's spreading across social media, campaign groups, and even Parliament right now is clear: the system is overdue for a modern upgrade. But let's be honest, the idea of the government paying every pensioner £722 a week sounds almost impossible. How would it be funded? Is it realistic? Would taxpayers support it? And what would it mean for the country? Well, here's where things get interesting. Some economists argue that raising the state pension this dramatically would put huge pressure on public finances. Others say the opposite, claiming that older people spend their money locally, supporting businesses, and returning much of it to the economy through taxes and growth. And then there's the big question that many younger people are asking: if the country can't afford a proper pension today, what will happen when they retire? Will there even be a state pension left for them? This debate has everyone talking and worrying. But the heart of the issue isn't politics or accounting. It's people. People who worked their whole lives. People who paid taxes year after year. People who expected a comfortable retirement, or at least a stable one. Instead, many are finding that their pension doesn't come close to covering modern living costs. Some continue working into their 70s. Others downsize their homes, move away from family, or give up little comforts they once enjoyed. Raising the state pension to £722 a week, supporters say, would not just help pensioners survive, it would allow them to live with pride, security, and a sense of fairness. Of course, critics say that such a rise is unrealistic. They argue that even funding the triple lock is becoming harder, and pushing pensions that high would mean taxes going up, borrowing increasing, or cuts happening elsewhere. But supporters respond with one simple argument: if pensions were higher in other countries, and those countries can afford it, why can't Britain? And that argument is gaining traction. Online petitions calling for the £722 a week pension are attracting tens of thousands of signatures. Social media posts are going viral, and growing numbers of MPs are being pushed to address the issue, especially after hearing stories from their constituents. Some retiree groups point out that other nations treat pensions as an investment, not a burden. Higher pensions mean healthier, happier elderly populations, lower NHS costs, and stronger communities. The push for a £722 a week state pension is not just about money, it's about dignity. Because nobody wants to spend their final decades struggling. But even if the government doesn't go that far, the pressure being applied is already having an effect. Conversations that seemed impossible a few years ago, such as major pension reform, are now happening. Committees are studying the cost of living. Ministers are being questioned. Newspapers are covering pension poverty stories almost weekly. Something is shifting. Something is changing. Something big is coming. And ordinary pensioners have made it clear they won't stay silent. But what would a £722 weekly pension actually change? Imagine waking up one morning knowing you can afford food, bills, and heating without worry. Imagine being able to replace a broken appliance without dipping into emergency savings. Imagine being able to travel occasionally, buy gifts for family, or simply enjoy your retirement instead of trying to survive it. That's the world supporters of the movement want to see. Now, realistically, the DWP is unlikely to approve such a massive jump overnight. But even a partial increase driven by public pressure could make a huge difference. And that's where the power of movements like this comes in. The government rarely acts unless people speak up. And right now, people are speaking loudly. The question is whether ministers will listen or whether pensioners will be forced to keep fighting for a fair system. No matter what happens, one thing is clear: the conversation around pensions in the UK has changed forever. The debate has already shifted from how much can the government afford to how much do retirees deserve. Whether or not the pension rises to £722 a week, the demand has shown a spotlight on the real struggles older people face, and it has reminded the country that retirement is supposed to be a reward, not a punishment. So stay tuned. This debate is only getting louder. And with the pressure mounting, the next big announcement from the DWP could change everything. If you care about pensioners, fairness, or the future of retirement in the UK, then this is a story you'll want to follow closely, because what happens next could affect every generation. Thanks for watching UK Insight Now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with other seniors who need this info. See you in the next video. Stay well, stay informed.